Stop. I said stop. Sometimes the scariest secrets aren't hiding in dark alleyways. They're in the glow of a monitor, in the reflection of a familiar face in the window of a late-night cafe. That was the kind of secret Lika was keeping. To everyone, she was the perfect wife. Caring, punctual, loving. To her husband, Jerry, she was a quiet harbor after a stormy workday. But for the last 3 months, strange ships had been sailing into their harbor. Well, one ship. Lika had started working late. Jerry noticed everything. The faint, unfamiliar scent of perfume in her hair. The distant look in her eyes. New lingerie he'd never seen her wear before. The classic signs. His heart turned to ice, but he stayed silent. He wanted proof. Solid, final proof. Then one evening, after getting a text saying, "Running late, meeting," he made a decision. He knew where she worked. He parked across from the office complex and waited. His heart was pounding like it wanted to break out of his ribcage. 1 hour. 2. The office lights had gone dark long ago. Then, at midnight, she came out. Not alone. With a man. Tall, in an expensive coat. They went into the cafe across the street. Gritting his teeth, Jerry followed. He sat at the bar, in the shadows, watching. He saw them laughing, saw the man's hand brush against hers, saw his Lika look at this stranger, with a gaze that once belonged only to him. It was unbearable. And the moment the stranger leaned in to kiss her cheek, Jerry stood up and walked out. He had all the proof he needed. It was over. But the story didn't end there. It was only beginning. The next morning, Lika was making coffee as if nothing happened. Jerry, pale, watched her. "The meeting ran late last night," she said, avoiding his eyes. "I know," Jerry replied quietly. "I saw you. At the cafe. With him." Lika froze. Coffee spilled onto the countertop. But then came something unexplainable. It wasn't fear, guilt, or excuses that flashed across her face. It was a strange, almost childlike confusion. "With who?" she asked sincerely. "That man. Tall, in a black coat. You were drinking wine. He was about to kiss you," Jerry shouted. Lika slowly walked up to him. Her eyes grew wide, filled with horror, but not from being caught. "Jerry." Her voice was a whisper. I was alone last night. I was by myself, at the cafe across from work. I sat alone at a window table all evening. I saw you. You were standing outside staring at me. I waved to you, but you didn't react. I thought you didn't recognize me in the dark, or didn't want to." The ice in Jerry's heart cracked. He remembered. He had seen her alone at that table, and he had seen her wave at the window. But at the same time, like an overlay on that clear image, he had seen the man. Their laughter, their closeness. Two realities collided in his mind. They saw a psychologist, then another. They found no signs of mental illness in Jerry. He was healthy, but the visions continued. Every time Lika was late, he'd see her with the same stranger, in different places, with different details. And Lika insisted. She was always alone. Despair was driving them mad. They decided on a macabre experiment. The next time Lika said she was seeing a friend, Jerry followed her. And again he saw it. Her at the wheel, and that same man in the passenger seat, his hand on her shoulder. In a rage, Jerry sped up, got out, and yanked open the passenger door. It swung open. The seat was empty. Only a pale, terrified Lika stared back at him with wide eyes. You saw him again?" she asked, and there was no lie in her voice, only terror. That's when they found the old box in the storage closet. Lika was sorting through her late mother's things. At the bottom, under a stack of letters, was a faded photograph. Lika's young mother, beautiful and smiling. And next to her, a man, tall in an elegant though old-fashioned suit. The same man, the stranger. On the back, in her mother's handwriting, it said, "With Evgeny, the love of my life. My husband never forgave me. He died of a broken heart." Jerry stared at the photo and the world swayed before his eyes. Lika's mother had died 5 years ago, of a heart attack, and this man in the photo, he looked exactly like the ghost only Jerry could see. The truth revealed itself to them, cold and unbelievable. This wasn't Lika's infidelity. It was her mother's infidelity, many, many years ago. A hot, passionate, tragic love that ended in death. But the feeling was so powerful, so charged with guilt and passion, that it stuck to the family line, to the blood. It became a family curse. The ghost of that old love, that old betrayal, was projecting itself onto Lika. It was trying to live out its unfinished romance again, through the daughter. And Jerry. Jerry was the only one who could see it, not Lika. Because the ghost fed on jealousy. The jealousy of the present husband. It was a manifestation of that very feeling. The materialized pain of Lika's mother's betrayed husband, mixed with the lover's passion. Jerry stood there, holding the photograph, and looked at his wife, the real one, the living one, the one who had been with him all these years. He had been looking for betrayal in her while it was hiding in the past, in a shadow that longed to feel the warmth of living flesh again. Their story changed in that second. This was no longer a banal drama of infidelity. This became a battle for their present against the ghost of the past, for love against the shadow of love. There was only one question. What is stronger, the living feeling of two living people, or the restless eternal passion of something that doesn't know it's already dead? What happened next? That's a whole other story. But they say to banish a ghost, you have to name it. And forgive. Forgive everyone, the mother, that man, that betrayed husband, and yourself. But that, as you understand, is not so simple.